Well, hello, folks. I'm Paul Tracy.
I'm Andy Wheeland.
And I'm Evan Kern.
Happy holidays. We're here to wish you a happy holidays and to tell you a little bit about our podcast show called GameBreak,
which is a video podcast about fun and games with friends.
Yes, it is. We've been going on for about 10 episodes so far, and this holiday episode is to show you a preview of the upcoming 5 that we have planned for you and beyond. The GameBreak show itself is normally shot at Andy's place, where he has a multitude of about 900 games in his basement.
Well, it's not just a basement. It's the fortress of gamitude.
Essentially, we do reviews of the games. We have a lot of fun. We talk about gameplay. And the kinds of board games that we talk about are maybe not always the traditional kind of board games, but...
yeah, we like to give a lot of variety and introduce people to games they may have not heard about before.
Right.
So if you just casually enjoy playing board games and you want to get introduced to a few more fun ones, here are witty banter and our ratings and our reviews, then you should check out our program.
You can see Andy and I are the co-hosts for this show, and Evan.
I am the editor.
Okay, and like Paul said, there are 5 episodes all ready to come, and the first of those episodes is called It's in the Cards. It's an episode all about card games. It's a pretty wild one. Lots of special effects. And in it, we talk about Bonanza, which is a nice game of trading cards and making money from your fields, and Relationship Tightrope, a game of give and take between a couple. And both great card games, and you'll learn about them in that episode.
It's the season for magic.
Let me
you
use
want to
your
borrow
wand.
my magic wand?
Ready?
Oh, sure.
Check
Let's
it
see
out.
what happens here. Ah! What? Whoa! That's a lot of card games.
Yeah, they're all just mixed up and piled up here.
Oh, man. You're part Santa.
I think it's time to completely clean this up and move on to our game reviews.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think?
Yeah.
But most of the cards are like this. So here's one, for example, that is the wax bean. What you're trying to do in this game is get the most gold.
Yep.
And you do it by planting beans into imaginary fields that you have in front of you, because you are a bean farmer. Oh, actually, I should probably be playing this game with my wife.
Oh, okay, where is she? Where's Lori?
Well,
what do you mean?
I could probably bring her over.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Perfect, right? So, hi, Lori.
Wow. That was a great episode. I liked it a lot. Wow. So what did we do in the next episode? I think episode 12.
Well, the next episode, is 12. We call it Classically Trained Board Gamers.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, but even though it was called that, in the very start of it, I remember reviewing iPad games called Carcassonne and Ra.
That's right.
And
you had just gotten your new iPad.
Yes.
So,
But
good. Looking forward to looking at that.
Yes. Besides those, though, I guess
occasional other iPad apps in this new season, perhaps.
We will review those occasionally.
Right, but then we got down to the meat of the matter for that episode, which was classically trained board games. So this not very well known game that right. So Monopoly. We actually talked about this. I know that might make some of you run for the hills, but turns out Monopoly has some interesting history, and there's a reason why it's so popular. And we followed that up with a chaser of careers.
This was your first board game, I think,
That's right. That was, not my first ever, but the one that really led me into some of the other types of games that we talk about now. So we reflect on that in this episode. Let's reflect on that episode now.
Hey, Reiner Knizia's Ra.
Whoa!
Now, it's interesting because it's not Priest of Ra, it's the original Ra, but the thing is, it's a little different in the way they laid it out, whoever particularly made this game.
The true originator of something like Monopoly was Elizabeth Maggie. Yeah. But this was the copy of Monopoly that I grew up with. And here's the board. It's actually split in the middle, but if I hold it together, it looks like it's all one piece. Cool, and you can see this has been well played with. Bent a little bit.
Well,
and all the other parts came in this small box. And I do believe, this is copyright 1935.
Wow.
So this is one of the first printings of Monopoly. I wanted to tell you about another classic, it's a classic game for me. Not everybody has necessarily played this one, but I consider this a classic. You can see that it's well played, I think. I wrote here on my little inventory note, it says complete, well played, photocopied score pads. That's a sign of a game that's been played quite a lot and been played well.
For years.
I did find another copy of it at a garage sale.
Nice.
Which is a little bit different.
Newer
Looks
or
different.
older, do you think?
Slightly newer.
Okay.
So this one
Yes.
is it's a game called Careers. And I think it was really, really ahead of its time.
Okay, how so?
Because it uses some really innovative game mechanics.
Oh, wow.
So there's the original board, not the original board, but a
Yeah.
fairly early board, and this is another one where they cleaned it up and made it just a little bit fancier looking.
Okay.
But then they also went on to take this game and they've changed it a bit over the years and made it a little bit more current.
Okay.
So some of the things that you see here, like the different careers that you can pursue in this game, here it says uranium prospecting in Peru is one of the careers you could pursue. They eventually changed that to sports. They really did.
Well, that was cool, and yeah, we dug into the history on that one a little bit, so it hopefully gave you a little bit of insight onto the history.
Absolutely. I had to do a lot of research for that.
You did, thank you. And he does a lot of research
Wikipedia.
on all these games, actually. So he did a lot of work for this entire podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so now,
Oh.
episode...
What was it? Let's see. 13.
Yes,
What did
episode
we do?
13.
It
We
was
celebrated
called-
your birthday.
Oh, that's right. Green Frog. Okay,
And
you'll see that.
we
in a
talked
minute.
about programmed movement.
Yes.
It's kind of this concept in board gaming where you plan out your moves in advance, and then your character, your player token, or whatever moves through them. We talked about a game called Dragon Delta,
Yeah.
and then we also talked about a game called Robo Rally.
Oh, this is a cool game.
And check it out.
Oh my goodness! It looks like a frog.
Oh.
Maybe it is. Come and say hi. You got to dip your head in a little bit more. Look at this. It looks like a frog. This is Lori.
Happy birthday, Paul!
Oh. Happy birthday!
We're going to talk about a game.
What's it called?
It's called Dragon Delta. Yes. And the goal is kind of like in Chinese checkers. You're trying to get to the opposite side of the board.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
But you got to do that by walking across
Nice.
the islands
Okay.
and not ending up in the water. And as you can see, if you end up in the water, there's a big dragon in there, and he eats you.
Right.
And actually spits you back out on your starting island
Oh
all
no!
over again.
You got to start all over.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
The next game
Yeah.
is called Robo Rally. Robo Rally.
Nice.
And this is a fantastic game that I am ashamed that I did not learn about earlier. There's a whole bunch of pre-programmed, pre-planned
Okay.
factory layouts,
Nice.
that you can do. Now, some of these you put multiple boards in. Some of them have a longer game. Some of them are shorter game. Like if you have to get, because there's 8 of these available.
Right.
So if you have to get your robots from checkpoint to checkpoint through 8 different checkpoints, it's going to be a long game.
It is.
And so you keep on doing that until somebody
Until
touches all the flags,
all the
and then they
flags
win.
are touched. So yeah, that was fun. I enjoy playing that game a lot.
That always cracks me up because of how I'm sending my robot into the walls
Yeah.
unpredictably, and it's a really fun game.
When we first played it, I thought you were supposed to flick the robots, but I guess the whole idea of program movement is that you plan it out. So yeah.
Nice.
All right. So what
All
did we do? Episode 14.
Well, that was
cooperative
the
games.
cooperative games. We called it I Get By With a Little Help from My Friends.
Oh, nice.
So what did we talk about in that one? We talked about cooperative games where
like,
people got together.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings was one of them, right?
Right. There was a brief little look at that game. Another game was Forbidden Island.
Oh yeah, Forbidden Island.
Which we didn't go into in any depth because it turns out that the person who designed this game also designed Pandemic, which we went into in a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
So, and Pandemic has the expansion On the Brink. It's a great
Yeah.
game. Been playing a lot of it recently, even still since that episode.
And we're trying something new with Pandemic. And what we're doing is we're introducing this idea of something called games on the table.
That's right.
And the thought behind it is,
A new series
yeah,
in which you can learn how to play a game along with your friends right in front of your own copy of the game on the table.
yep.
So
Take your
maybe you put
iPhone,
it on your phone. Yeah, you
or
put it on your tablet. You put
would
it
be
on
better.
your portable viewing device, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and hit start. And this video podcast, or actually just video series, will take you through the steps and get you to understand the game. If the friends always go, I don't want you to read the rules. Let's just play.
Because who hasn't opened up the rules and said they're very nicely done? And,
right.
and games like this make very nice rules. But if you just
Let's
want
read them for the
basics-
next hour.
Exactly. But you got a few.
So we
minutes,
want to
let's
give you
cover
a
it.
quick 10-minute or so
Or even
introduction,
less.
or even less,
Yeah.
to any game.
Yep.
And we're going to start with Pandemic. because it's a good one.
The cooperative game that I think I first played is this game called Lord of the Rings.
This is your very earliest cooperative game.
But basically, it's a card game in which
a card game. After
all
all
the
that?
players have cards,
Yeah.
sets of cards, and during the game you travel through these different trails, right?
Good
so
Lord.
this is like a trail. One more game that I want to mention before our main review
Yeah.
is a game called the Metal Box.
Metal
game.
box game. There it is.
Forbidden Island. Basically, there's an island with tiles representing different parts of the island,
Okay.
and the players find themselves on the island. And throughout the course of the game, different parts of it begin to sink. They get flooded on the first flip, and then they disappear on the second flip.
Cool.
And the players need to travel around and gather cards so that they can get treasures back from the different areas on the island. And they get the treasures, and then they all hop in the helicopter and they fly off. Pandemic.
It looks pretty cool. All right, what do we do?
All right. So in this game, the big idea
Yes.
is that we the players are workers for the CDC
Nice.
in Atlanta, and there has been a viral outbreak of various different diseases across the globe. And you can see here there's a big map.
Yep.
And here are the pawns for the players. Now they're different colors.
Yep.
Because there are different abilities that each of these different roles has.
What happens when you get to the 8th outbreak?
Oh, that's one of the ways that you can lose the game. If this deck ever runs out,
Yeah.
then that's another way that the game is over.
Oh, gosh.
Or if the number of little cubes available to put onto the board ever runs out with these multiple outbreaks, it's likely to happen.
Yeah, it can.
If this runs out and you're unable to put a new cube on the board when you're supposed to, your
Yep.
game is over as
Oh.
well. So
In the next episode,
Yes, what do
episode
we do?
15,
Yeah.
yet to be named, by the way,
That's right.
we had a little bit of a showdown of a couple transportation-themed games. 2 Game of the Year winners,
Yep.
German Game of the Year.
2004
And-
2006, I think, right?
Yes, that's right.
How do you like
And the first one we talk about is Ticket to Ride, which is
Yep.
a very well-known game, widely played,
Yes.
and it's a great game, and it's a gateway game.
Yeah.
I would say, it introduces people to the hobby of gaming.
So you
and,
should play this because he's
right.
getting more and more and more into the game.
That's right.
And,
He's going to build his own collection in his
Yeah.
future basement.
Someday.
cool.
And we also compared that with Thurn and Taxis. And,
Turn on Taxis,
That's right. And
which is
they-
about post offices, right?
That's right.
You'll see that.
The other one
on,
was about trains.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't know that.
I didn't
so
know that either.
they do have a lot of game mechanics in common between them. So we sort of compare and contrast them a little bit.
set up Ticket to Ride.
There it is.
Whoops. Ticket to Ride, which is a game by Alan Moon. In this game, what we're going to try to do is to get points and have the most points at the end of the game. And you score points in a couple of different ways.
All right.
You score points by building train routes between cities on the map.
Beautiful.
You also score points by connecting cities on the map according to these ticket cards that you get during the game. Very good game. I highly recommend it.
Thurn and Taxis.
Thurn and Taxis. Here's the box. The real thing that you want to do is to get your little post offices out into these cities
Behind.
to create postal routes. You want to put these little houses out so that you can earn points to win the game with.
Okay.
And you generally only get points for putting your houses out onto the board. So if you're the first person to accomplish the task necessary to get this little score piece,
Yep.
you get a higher score than the next person who does it.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
So this piece you would get for building one of your postal houses in every city in the gray region here.
And there you go. So that's a little sampling of our next 5 episodes, and there are many more to come after that. So if you visit GameBreakPodcast.com, you can find out how to contact us and where to find those new episodes. I recommend you subscribe on iTunes, and that will let you get each new episode directly to your podcatcher.
Or you can become our fan on Facebook.
That's right. And also we have a Twitter page now. GameBreak Tweets is the name, at GameBreak Tweets. And by going to all those at GameBreakPodcast.com, you'll see them listed there.
And you'll never miss an episode.
That's right. So have a happy holiday season.
And a great 2012.
Yes.
And we're back.
Hey.
So that was a nice game about communicable diseases as we all share our cups.
What's in there? Hopefully, just some hot chocolate. Oh, let's see. What is our
Ding.
next? Hey, the cat knows. Knizia.
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 Knizia. He's Italian.
He's not. Not even close.
Hi.
We're sorry.
German. All right. So, and you gotta do this too.
We're here.
Wow.
I don't,
Do you
know
know-
why I'm blinking.